I'll have her come on up here, and she is going to do a nice little talk for us. I think she's ready. And yeah, so we'll put our hands together and get Emily on up here. Thank
you. There are times as an activist that demand careful preparation, clearly sourced and cited facts, and a composed, balanced delivery. And I had those at the ready. But this was not one of those times.
Hi, my name is Emily. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. So I prepared a little bit because I wanted to have something somewhat coherent to share with you guys. So
when polished words ring false and formalities fail, just speak.
Conception of an eager willingness to buy into this global state of self-deception. It's a deception that's powerful enough to manipulate us into committing. You know, this is far too formal for right now. I'm just going to talk to you. It's very educational, and it's very elegantly written, but it's not appropriate right now because today isn't about that. You know, I typically write and I script my videos, and they're very academic, and they're eloquently stated by the time I get behind the camera. And I write these things out, and I think about them forever, and I cite them. But today is not about that. We don't need a blog post and citations today. Today is about the animals and about their experiences in their lives. And it doesn't take scholarship. It doesn't take a high level of intelligence. It doesn't take research, and it doesn't take anything but just opening our eyes and just looking at them. You don't need to have any kind of proof. You don't need to have any kind of backing or schooling or something to show to someone, or a degree. You don't have to be a medical doctor. You don't have to have any of that. You just need to be a human being and to look at them. These are living, sentient creatures. They're just like you and me. They hurt, they feel, they have experiences all of their own. And it doesn't take much to see that. And it is again, this thing that I crafted is really smart sounding. It does talk about the fact that we, as a society, we work so hard to convince ourselves that there is this way for us to love animals and to eat them, to be these animal lovers, part-time in a way. Like we're gonna love the cats, we're gonna love the dogs, and then we're gonna forget about the chickens and forget about the pigs and forget about the cows. And it's painful and it's difficult to be the ones who decide and choose to acknowledge them. It's not an easy thing to do, and I have vegans ask me all of the time, and because you guys are here, I'm assuming most of you are probably in the vegan way. They ask me, like, why is it that people are so resistant to just this truth that's so evident to us? Once your eyes are open, it's almost impossible to understand how we didn't see this before. How could you possibly look at what's happening here and find this to be acceptable? And I think, to me, it means because to look at these beings and to connect with them, it means that we have to look at ourselves and realize what we've been a part of up until this point in our lives that we go vegan. That up until that point, we've been the perpetrators, we've been the tormentors, we have been the monsters that we try to protect our children from. And that's a really hard realization to make. So instead what happens is people talk about protein, and they talk about lions, and they talk about all of these things, because to not talk about those things means that we have to confront the truth about what we've been a part of. And of course, going vegan, I would like to say that it makes it makes life, beautiful and easy, and it does bring so much beauty into your life to know that you're no longer participating in this. You're no longer the monster that someone has to fear. But it's a double-edged sword, because also we now have this awareness, and it's incredibly, it's a huge honor, and it's a huge burden to be this aware. And as vegans, we can still be very tempted to hide ourselves from this reality and to say, okay, I'm not eating the animals anymore, and that's enough. I don't need to look at it. I don't need to go through the heartbreak of seeing what they're going through, because I already know, and I'm not a part of it, so it's okay. But it's so important for us to stay connected to them and to acknowledge them, because it's still happening for them, even if we're not a part of it. And God knows that no one else is going to come and bear witness to them except for those of us who know what is happening. So I guess in the most ineloquent way that I came around about to this, I just want to thank all of you for being here, and for doing that, and for making that connection, and for furthering the depth of your own commitment to these beings. Because it's one thing to refuse to participate in the violence, and it's another thing to challenge yourself to stay connected to that, to the very horrors that you yourself are not even contributing to. The entire world should be here bearing witness to them, especially those individuals who are still a part of that. But obviously they're not going to be here, and that's where we come in. We come in to give these beings some recognition, a moment's recognition of validation. And it might be the only validation that they ever get. It might be the only human kindness they are ever shown in their all too short lives. Because these are all babies. The way that we raise our animals, these are babies. And so we're here to give them one moment's notice. And that's a beautiful thing, so thank you.
So if you ever falter, if you're uncertain what to say, just look in their eyes and speak. Speak as if it were your last day. Learn more about Toronto Pig Save and Holding Vigil, and hear more vegan speeches in the videos linked here and in the description below. Like and share this video to inspire others to speak up, and subscribe for more vegan inspiration every Monday, Wednesday, and some Fridays. To help support Bite Size Vegan's educational efforts, please see the support links below, or click the Nugget Army icon or the link in the sidebar. Now go live vegan, find your voice, and I'll see you soon.